And we are live. Good evening, everybody. It is exactly 9 o'clock. Slightly different stream for you tonight because I've got a lovely little guest next to me. Here he is, tucked away in his secret hideout in where is it? Secret hideout in Stoke still, Chris? Where did you move to?
It's Biddulph, which is just outside Stoke.
Just outside Stoke. So we're going to give people a few minutes to join, guys. An email's just gone out to the email list with a link to this for everybody. I'm just going to click this on my laptop so I can actually just watch what's going on. We are live, Chris. That's gone live there, which is a bonus. So technically, we're all good. I'm going to send this out as well for you Twitter lot and for you lovely people on LinkedIn as well. Might as well go live on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Give me a comment if you are here on Facebook. Let me know you are here. Oh, look at this. Facebook have updated the whole going live part of their kind of website. And now I can see everything on one window. I can see the live video. I can see the comments. I can do polls. I can do all kinds of stuff. So that's a bonus. So yeah, let us know you're here. Leave me some comments. Hopefully you are here. I can see people are joining. Sophia's in the house, has just joined. 7 other people have just jumped on. I don't know who that is yet. It's not come through. I can see Amy's here. How we doing? All right. Stegid Wayne is in the house. Star of Coronation Street. I'm going to give people just a few minutes to join, guys, and then we're going to get stuck into tonight. It can be a little bit different. I'm going to tell you what's going on at actsonthis.tv this week. Rich Haler all the way from America. He's always here, aren't you, Rich? And I'm going to be talking to this guy. Chris, what's been going on with you while we're waiting for people to join? What's been happening this week?
I've just been editing lots of show reels, ready for Showreel Share Day. I've been working on some scripts, organising my archive. Now I've got plenty of time to do that. So yeah, still busy. Still busy. I'm just going to start a little watch party off in a couple of groups on the old Facebook while we're waiting for people to join. I'm going to try a few different things out tonight, guys, as well. We've got access to a little bit of technology I don't normally have. So I think I can do a poll in a minute on Facebook, and we'll see how that works. God knows if it'll work very well. But we shall see. So in terms of work for you, Chris, I'm guessing obviously showreel shooting is completely out of bounds. Much editing going on? Yeah, still lots of editing. Still doing lots of editing, yeah. So all the people that have been booked in, for the weeks of the lockdown, they've been moved to later on. But yeah, still busy. Still got lots of scripts to write. Still got lots of editing to do. So yeah, non-stop. And then I've been able to watch some films and TV that I've been wanting to catch up on. I've just watched The Tiger King. If you've not watched it, you absolutely have to watch it. It is one of the most addictive documentaries you've ever seen.
I've seen a trailer for it. It looks like proper over the top. I mean, is it real? It's
all real. It's all real. It's absolutely real. If you wrote this as a script, it would be unbelievable. But it is absolutely real. The characters and the twists and the turns. And you get to the end of one episode and you're like, I've got to watch the next one. We watched 6 episodes in a row. And then finished it off the next morning. That's how addictive it is.
I watched Don't F With Cats. I couldn't believe that was real. Obviously it was, but that blew my mind. I was like, you know what? There's some freaking great stuff on Netflix. Some really, really good stuff. Obviously watch The Stranger. That's on Netflix. Play a little cameo in that, which is good. And I've also got the director of Netflix, The Stranger, Hannah Quinn, doing a live webinar with us this Thursday. So in fact, let's start. Let's give a few shout outs and I'll tell you what's going on this week because we've got an absolute shitload of stuff. This is a bit of a pre-chat for what me and Chris are going to do tomorrow night because we're going to do a live workshop, an online workshop for showreels, showreel workshop for all premium members of actsonthis.tv. We spent the day creating a slide deck today. No doubt we're going to spend half of the day tomorrow finishing it off. But we're giving away some incredible Chris is some incredible advice ultimately on utilizing social media to really ramp up how many people are watching your show reels because right now you can't be out doing the work, obviously, but your show reel can. What's also going on next week is Showreel Share Day, Chris. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight as well because that'll probably be a pretty big event now everybody is home. For that. But I'll give a few shout outs to people who are joining. Amy's there, Steggy Wayne, like I say, is in the house. Sophia, Andrea, how you doing? I hope you're good. Julie, great to see you. Esther, Callum, good to see you, buddy. Shannon's in the house. Leah Baskaran, Linda's here. Indra, Tony Rossi from Chicago. All right, Chi-Town. No, it's A-Town down it. That's Atlanta. That's not Chicago. But Chi-Town down, Tony, for you. Tanika, how are we doing? Wendy's here. Sarah Jane. Dawn's in the house. Alex is here. There's so many people here, which is great. Do share this stream, guys, tonight. If you could put it in any acting groups that you might be a part of, share it on your own timeline. Have you shared it, Chris?
I have just shared it on Twitter.
Good lad. So for those who are joining for the first time, give them a little intro on you. Then we're going to talk about what's coming up this week. I'm going to give you guys a brief overview of all the live webinars I've got coming up for members of ActsOnThis.tv. I was speaking to Dan Hubbard today. He called me from Ireland. He's at his mum and dad's house. Obviously one of the biggest casting directors we have in film and TV. He's doing a live broadcast for premium members with me on ActsOnThis.tv. We've got Sophie Holland. Got some incredible people. But Chris, give people an intro to you. Why are you here? Who are you?
Why am I here? Well, hello. So I'm Chris Stone. I'm a filmmaker. I'm based in Biddulph, which is just outside Stoke-on-Trent. I direct all sorts, really, but I primarily direct showreel scenes for actors. So we write and shoot scenes that are bespoke to you, that show you off to your absolute best. And I've made quite a few hundred. If you want to see any, go to my Instagram, which is instagram.com/ChrisStoneFilms, and there's over 300 on there. And I post a you on every day on Instagram. So go check out my work there.
How many hundred, Chris? A few hundred. How many?
Quite a few hundred. There's more than 350 that you can watch.
350 on Instagram. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to be going through that. So what are we going to be going through for premium members of ActsOnThis.tv tomorrow, Chris? Give them a bit of insight, and then I'll get to the rest of the guests.
We're going to cover the actual, not necessarily the scenes or showreels, but how to actually get it out there. So all the tactics for Twitter, Instagram, all the different social medias. What's the very best way, times to post, so that sort of thing. So it's more about getting out there, because you can have the best showreel in the world, but if you're putting it out wrong, putting out the wrong sort of links, the wrong sort of ways of doing it, nobody's going to watch it. And what's the point then? So there you go.
How often are you seeing mistakes made by actors when it comes to distribution?
All the time, literally all the time. This is why one of the reasons why I said, Ross, we should probably do a live thing on this, because people are just posting it wrong. And it's like, we go to all that work and effort to make a great scene or a great reel, and then it's posted out like as links or completely wrong. And you're like, nobody's ever going to watch that. Or you posted this out and you've not tagged certain people in this, and you've missed out an opportunity of 50,000 people watching it. So.
Yeah, basically, that makes me laugh. So someone will get you to shoot a showreel scene for them. They will then put it out on Twitter, and they won't tag you, who has over 50,000 followers on Twitter, all kinds of people within this industry, casting directors, writers, producers, all people from all areas of the industry, and they won't tag you in it. So you don't know they posted it, and you just gladly retweet all of your clients' work. So you can instantly get tens of thousands more eyes on your work, but people aren't even tagging you in their own showreels.
Which is mad.
Absolute bonkers. So tomorrow, at 7:30 p.m. for all members of ActsOnThis.tv. Let me share my screen with you right now, because I'm going to show you so much stuff coming up, guys. Honestly, I know we're in the middle of an absolute crisis, and it's not to underplay that at all. But in terms of content for premium members of ActsOnThis.tv, you guys have never had it better. I made a rod for my own back here, because when this is all over, I guess you lot are still going to expect this to be a regular occurrence. So what's happened, if you go to ActsOnThis.tv/live, and those people who are on here who aren't members of the website yet, go and check it out, because I'm not going to give you the hard sell, but I think if you are able to spare what would roughly work out as £2 a 90-minute webinar that I'm going to be doing over the next few months, 2 a week for the foreseeable, you'll be daft to miss out on this. That's on this.tv /live. You'll see this lineup, this broadcast calendar. Now I've got webinars to add to this, because I've confirmed new ones today that I'm going to add. But basically tomorrow, that as we stand is Tuesday the 31st of March 2020, did an online showreel workshop with director Chris Stone. He's the geezer on here tonight. We're still going to be talking about showreels tonight as well, guys. We're going to have a lot of Q&A with you lot. Then Thursday, I've got a live 90-minute Q&A with the director of The Stranger. I'm sure you've seen The Stranger on Netflix, or if you haven't, it's a perfect time to binge it while you've got a lot of time on your hands. Hannah Quinn is the director of The Stranger, an incredible director. She's worked with some of the biggest names in the world, literally in the world. And she's going to be doing a Q&A with members of ActsOnThis.tv. You're going to get to jump on camera, by the way, with these people, with Chris tomorrow night, with Hannah. But then we've got next Tuesday, Martin Gibbons, one of the biggest commercial casting directors in the industry. He's doing a Q&A for 90 minutes on commercial casting. Then the following Thursday, the 9th of April, I've got the casting director for the Netflix's The Witcher, again, one of the biggest shows on the planet, doing a 90-minute Q&A, Sophie Holland. Again, you're going to get a chance to speak to her if you join. Well, you have a chance. I obviously can't bring hundreds of people on, but you will get a chance to ask your questions. And certain members of Acts on this, I'm going to bring you guys on camera. You're going to get a chance to talk to Sophie one-to-one. I've just confirmed Dan Hubbard today as well. Dan's one of the biggest casting directors we have on the planet, full stop. Comes from the Hubbard family, Amy Hubbard, John Hubbard, Ros Hubbard. An incredible dynasty of casting directors. Again, Dan cast the biggest stuff going. He's going to be jumping on a Q&A the Tuesday after Sophie, I think. I've got Ollie Reynolds coming on the Thursday after that. He's a social media expert talking about how you build your brand and also a side hustle online business while everybody's in lockdown. There's a lot of people here who are going to have other things that aren't acting, other skills that they can utilize online and potentially earn money from the comfort of their own home whilst, all of this is going on. So if you're not a member of Acts on This, get yourself a freaking membership. It'll basically cost you 17 quid a month. But if you break it down, you're getting 8 webinars a month. That's £2.12 per webinar at the moment, plus a catalogue of 250 hours worth of podcasts and videos and acting career advice from already on the site, the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers, in the industry, full stop. So do get over to actonthis.tv/live to find out more about that. So let's take some sort of like whatever ultimately tonight, Chris, let's see if the audience want to guide what we're going to talk about. I've got stuff that I want to ask you, but I want you lot on here to get as much value from this as possible. So if you've got topics that you want us to talk about regarding anything to do with your career, really, to be honest. Chris has been in the industry a long, long time. He's made web series himself online that have had, millions of views? How much did Blood and Bone China get?
I got 750,000 views.
750,000 views.
And it won awards in America and, all over the world. Yeah, I went out to Marseille Web Fest twice to talk about Blood and Bone China and Year of Spies with you in.
Yeah, we did Year of Spies. Yeah, I was there. There's a character called Taylor Gable, the closest I'll ever get to playing James Bond. So Chris knows all about web series. Obviously, he shoots hundreds of showreel scenes. He directs actors literally on a daily basis, so we can talk about stuff on set. So many things that, again, he sees actors getting wrong on set that if you were in, if that was a TV set, would definitely get you into trouble. But ultimately, we're here for you for the next 50 minutes, whatever you want to talk about. Or we're just going to chew the fat and talk about what we want to talk about. Lindsay, good evening. Alex, did anyone get on any of the Spotlight one-to-one calls? Again, I saw loads of people kicking off on Twitter today. So Spotlight, we're doing these one-to-one calls, Chris, where similar to the webinars that I'm doing, but nowhere near as good. They give out 15-minute slots to actors on Skype to jump on with the casting director. But obviously, there's only so many lots of 15 minutes in a day, and casting directors will probably go, I'll do 2 hours of it. So there's 8 slots. Guys, honestly, stop struggling for it. Get yourself an Acts on This membership. I'll get you on with Sophie Holland. I'll get you on with Dan Hubbard. I'll bring you on with Martin Gibbons. Any other casting directors that I bring on. Oh, if you need an agent as well, Janet Hampson's confirmed. She's a casting director turned agent. She's going to do a live broadcast with us probably the Thursday after Ollie's. I mean, honestly, we've got a consistent stream of live webinars that you will be able to join live in, and actually, like I say, be on camera for the foreseeable future, at least the next 3 months. So that's 24 webinars that are coming up for members. Andrea said no, she didn't. All sold out. I think they went really, really quickly on Spotlight, without a doubt. I think very, very few people managed to get any slots. Shelley says, Chris, your films are phenomenal. Have to book you when we can. It's a bit of an unknown, isn't it, at the moment? I was talking to Dan about this. One thing, guys, and Dan was quite aspirational today when I was chatting to him, because he was like, look, right, it's devastating what's happened. Really is. Our industry's completely closed down. However, let's stay optimistic because we have to. There's no alternative for me. What about you, Chris? Yeah, got to stay optimistic.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%. And he's like, we can do so much to prepare for when we can get out of this, that we're not starting again. So he's talking to me. Can't really go into details, but he's talking to me about producing stuff, getting a lot of people together now and casting stuff purely from self-tapes for projects that he knows he can get people together for. These aren't TV projects. These are people like, he just obviously knows a load of really, really cool people in the industry. And I was like, look, why, I'm sure we can get lots of people together and, collaborate on stuff. And I think we can all do that. And I've no idea what his plans are on for that. But in terms of, getting ready, Daniel Edwards said that. Then he said, listen, you've got to be match fit all the time. So if you're ready, you don't have to get ready. And I think right now, one of the things that we can all be getting ready is show reels, in terms of, and putting our content out or making new content, distributing that on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, all these places. What have you seen people doing, Chris, director-wise? Have you seen, because you're obviously in a slightly different world. We're in the acting world, you're in the kind of directing world. Have you seen any other independent directors doing anything innovative from their houses or anything?
I don't know. I don't really follow what the directors have been following other actors. So
I don't follow any of the competition.
No, well, you know what I mean? I've been busy doing my own things. I don't really follow. I've been seeing what other actors are doing, but I haven't been really seeing what other. I can only tell you what I've been doing is working on lots of scripts. So I'm writing all the scripts for all the people that are coming in a few months' time. So we're still taking bookings for the distant future. So we're still working away. I'm still taking phone calls with actors because I spend quite a lot of time talking to each individual actor to figure out what their strengths are, so I can write something that's very bespoke to them. So I'm still using this time productively, and that's what you should be doing: is getting ready and preparing and getting your show reel.
I think the worst thing you can do is just sit and mope. I think for the first few days, I watched I was working, but in between every upload, I was waiting for someone to upload something. I was tuning into Sky News, and it just ruined me. It just ended up being, it just drained my energy. And obviously, the figures, it sounds horrible, but all the stuff that's going to come out over the next week and stuff, a week or so around statistics and stuff, we're going to start seeing some really horrible things happening. And there comes a point where you go, right, I've got to get the balance right between being well informed for my own safety and actually being obsessed with this, because there's this, my negativity bias in my head, which we have in all of us, is pre-programmed to seek out things that can hurt us. So we want to know about every single piece of bad news. And it gets to the point where you go, God, I have no motivation to do anything else. So staying creative now, I think, is more important absolutely than ever. And by you getting all of those showreel scenes written, ready for the actors for when they come in, you're not starting really from scratch when we are allowed out again. You're like, right, I'm actually ready. And how good is it going to feel when you walk out the door for the first time going, oh my God, what I used to probably complain about sometimes is now such a privilege.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, something that you just take for granted, just being able to go out and film on a daily basis. And, I've not been able to do that for the last week, but, it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. The first scene I do, I'm really looking forward to.
There'll probably be that trepidation where you'll be like, do we still social distance or can we just crack on? But you'll be so grateful just to be out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Amy, massive shout out to Amy Worthington. She says, I've cancelled every other subscription while we're in lockdown to save the pennies, apart from my Act on This subscription, because the content is fire. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Amy, for being part of the community. Honestly, I am giving so much more than I have. And I have always, my ethos has been give way more than you take just in life. But I cannot give you guys any more content than you're getting now. 8, you've gone from 2 features a month, which was still a bargain for your membership price, to 8 features a month, and not only like regular features, but features you can be a part of. So thank you for that. And Alison says, I'm assuming Chris's talk tomorrow will be filmed, will it? I'd love to watch live, but I'm teaching. Yes, it will. So all members will get a recording of every single webinar, and that includes past webinars as well. So already I've done a webinar with casting director Kelly Valentine Hendry that was fascinating. She's one of the biggest casting directors we have in TV. I also did a webinar last week with star of Downton Abbey and Outlander, Ed Spleers. Every member gets a recording of that. So if you join now, you still get recordings of the ones you've missed, and you'll get recordings of all of them moving forward, plus invites to every single live one that we do moving forward. So completely got you back. Sharon says, awesome lineup. Can't recommend these enough. Thank you, Sharon. I've got a question. I got a new agent 3 weeks ago, and she wants me to re-edit my show reel. She said she has ideas. I don't think she's working on the lockdown. So shall I just go ahead and get it edited without her input, or wait? What would your advice be there, Chris? Wait for your agent's input or do it yourself?
Okay, interesting one, because I find that most times when agents kind of start dictating on the show reel, it's mostly wrong, if I'm honest.
Okay, give us some insight in that, though.
Insight, it's okay. They probably honestly, they probably know better than just you by yourself doing it. But when it's a professional editing it, they can see all the possibilities, all the different cuts it could possibly be. It's interesting one. It really is with the agents. So sometimes you've got to do what they ask you to do, but it might not necessarily be the same thing. For example, I won't name names, but there's actor who the actor is brilliant, but the agent wanted them to only have certain scenes which will make her look younger, so she can get younger parts. But they aren't necessarily the best things, and she doesn't actually look that young anymore, and she's potentially missing out on lots of work because the agent wants her to go down this route when really she's got a wealth of other stuff, brilliant stuff that could be cut. And I've already said, look, if this doesn't work out with your agent on your agent's cut, come back in 6 months' time, which was 6 months ago, so I'm expecting a call any day now. You know who you are if you're watching, and I can cut you something that's, I can see a far stronger cut of the stuff that she's got. But yeah, the agent's taking it in one direction, which I don't think is working.
Well, I think it's an interesting one, Andrew, because the question I would be asking is, who knows you and your career better right now? You who has been working on your career for well over a decade, I imagine, or someone who you've known 3 weeks. Now, they can obviously offer input that's valuable, but it depends how long you've sat down with them and spoken to them already, and how long you think it's going to be until you can work with them. Because we've got an event next week, the 3rd of April, coming up, called Showreel Share Day. We'll talk a little bit about that. Normally, I mean, it's a difficult event. Normally, I'm like, look, it's a bit of fun. Don't remotely, get your hopes up that anything amazing is going to happen from it. Ultimately, it's a day where everybody posts their show reel on Twitter, and the idea is everyone watches everyone's reel and everyone retweets everyone's reel, and you will get a lot of views of your reel, or hopefully that's what you aim for. Usually, it happens during the week in a normal working week, and I'm like, look, don't expect anyone at United or at Troika or any of the big agencies, Curtis Brown, to look at your reel, because they're all going to be working for their clients on that weekday. Now, obviously, that's a different scenario this time, so I don't know if maybe it will be more worthwhile and beneficial to get involved with it this time, because there'll be more people who are sat at home, furloughed, not doing anything, and went, I'll dip in and have a little look. So it would be useful for you to get still a solid edit done if you can. For when's the 3rd, Chris? Is it like it's later this week?
The 3rd is, I can tell you now. Let me bring up my,
because it is the 3rd, isn't it, when it's happening? I'm sure
it's the 3rd. It's Friday.
It's Friday. So
yeah, it's Friday. It's the end of the week.
So it's a good day as well, a Friday. There's lots of people who are
good
in a
day,
good mood.
and people are watching stuff, because my viewing figures are almost double what they normally are, because people are at home. So people are actually taking the time and watching scenes and showreels. So
I've noticed engagement with Instagram. My Instagram stuff is honestly triple the engagement what it normally would be. So people definitely are spending time looking at stuff that they normally wouldn't be looking at, Andrea. So it would be good to have a reel you're happy with by Friday. It doesn't have to be the final cut that you go, right, this is the one I'm definitely going to go with. You can work with your agent, as and when. But if there's something in your reel right now that is a weak point, you need to fix that before Friday. I would do.
Our podcasts that we did, that's still online, isn't it?
Yes. Do you know what? Yeah, that's a freaking good idea. Let me show you this, guys, again. So share this. So again, that's on this .tv. If you go to, so those who are members, if you click into the members area up here on the top right, is everyone seeing that? Have you got that? Can you see that, Chris? Don't know what you can even see.
Yeah, I'm watching.
You got that? Right. So I'm in the members area now. Click into your membership, the premium membership, which is here. Don't forget all of your live links for all of the live calls, by the way, are in this section here, the second section down. But if you click, scroll down and down and down through, God, there's so many podcasts now. I think it's be right close to the bottom, because it's going to be classed as in the other industry pros. So Chris has got 2 features on the site, actually. He's got a site, a great interview we did. There's a video interview just there, say getting ahead by getting started with award-winning filmmaker Chris Stone, all about directing. But it's got a brilliant podcast where we sat down, this one here, 7 Steps to Showreel Success. We sat down, and for how long was it, Chris? It was 1 hour and 34 minutes. We went through every single nuance of editing and getting a ultimately just your showreel right, getting through every little loophole that people kind of, trip up on, and things that they not loophole, every hurdle, I guess, that you trip up on when you are editing your showreel, pitfalls that people fall down on time and time and time and time again. We went through there. You can listen to that, and I promise you, if you follow each of those 7 steps, you will end up with an absolutely rock solid showreel that will absolutely pay dividends for you. So that's in your members area. If you're a premium member, go and check that out. If you're not, get a bloody membership, because that alone, if you get that right, would pay for years of your membership. So yeah, check that out, Andrea. But definitely, it will be worthwhile having an edit done, I think, by the end of the week, if you can. And Claire says, yep, Showreel Share Day is on Friday. Andrew, that's funny. Andrew said it was a tough choice tonight. It was either watch us, Chris, or watch the real Michael Jackson. So I'm glad you opted for us, Andrea. Donna Louise, how you doing? I hope you're well. Harry Dexter, good to see you, mate. Hey, Chris, can you use your TARDIS phone box to pop back pre-virus and do some filming for him?
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be great.
That would be good, definitely, without a doubt. So Elizabeth says, does Chris edit existing showreels? Absolutely. What do you offer, Chris?
Yeah, I can cut your reel. So you send me all your stuff, and then I'd look at it really objectively and cut it together the way I'd want to see it, because my attention span is tiny. So I'll rewatch a reel over and over again until I'll get to the end of it. So I've just cut Alison's reel. I spent several hours
Alison
on that.
Saxton.
Alison's brilliant.
Total legend. She's an Acts on This.tv member. Came to the site without any credits. Don't even know she had an agent. Through listening to the podcast, guys. This isn't sales hype or bullshit. I'm not about that. Basically has landed roles on probably 2 or 3 TV shows in the last 6 months, and she's earned genuinely, and she's tweeted about this, and she'll back me up, literally thousands of pounds from basically listening to the stuff and watching the stuff on Acts on This.tv and acting on it. That's the key. You can't just watch it and go, oh, right, I understand the industry now. You've got to do something about it. But I promise you, proof in the pudding that it bloody works.
You've got
She's
to
been
act
right
on
success.
this, haven't you?
That's actually why I chose the name, Chris. Yeah.
Really?
Did you not know that?
No, of course I knew that.
Of course.
But yeah, Alison's come out really well. She's got the scene from the football. Oh, I can't remember the name of it now, but the new Netflix series, absolutely fantastic. So it's not just a matter of just dumping in the scenes; it's about re-editing them. So if you have a look at Alison's reel, I've really cut down the scene from Netflix, and then cut down the 2 scenes that she's done with me and other short films and stuff, but really kind of finesse them and put all the focus on Alison. So that's the key to it. Yeah.
So the way you do it, guys, most people, what they do is they get so they've got 3 scenes, for instance, and then what they do, they make a show reel, which is ultimately all 3 scenes back to back, and that's not a show reel, right? The show reel should take the viewer on some kind of journey. It doesn't have to be chronological. It doesn't have to start, at the start of that's another thing people do. They start a scene off, they cut to another one, and then the next scene, they follow up what they finished on the first scene. So they'll go, I'll give you half of the first scene from something, give you something new from a second scene, and then we'll go back to the first scene. And then and they keep doing that. So by the time you get to the end, you've watched all of their scenes, but half of a scene at a time. It's not that at all. We go into... You what, Chris?
Sorry, Alison just said it's called The English Game. I'd forgotten the title.
English Game.
That's next on my list to watch on Netflix now I've finished the Tiger one.
Nice. But I'm going to watch that Tiger one. But yeah, we go into some real in-depth stuff in that podcast. When you talk about thematic cuts, Chris, this is something we can just tell people about if they are editing their reel for themselves, because it's just something to think about. It's not easy. Obviously, Chris has been doing this for years, but just explain what they are. And also, you were talking about, what were they, L-shaped cuts, did you say? I can't remember what you were
L-shaped cuts. So there's quite a few in Alison's. So that's where you bring the sound in from one scene before it actually cuts the visuals, or vice versa. So you can still have the sound of the scene playing going into the next scene, so it blends the 2 together. So thematic cuts are ways of just getting it all to flow. So one of the best ones I ever did was, there was an office scene, and they were talking about rubbish bags or something like that, bags. But then it cuts to the next scene, completely different, and it was a bag of cocaine being dropped on the table. So on the word bag, it connects the 2. Or you can try and connect up the scenes so they almost feel like one story. So Petch is a really good example of this.
Yeah, Lee Petch. I don't know if he's on here tonight, but talk about that. Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, it's almost like one story. So it starts off with a scene of, these are all completely unconnected and filmed at completely different times with completely different people. It starts off with him meeting this woman, older lady at the door, and trying to chat her up. And
very unsuccessful. He always after a daughter, isn't he, first?
Yeah, no, actually, it starts off with Dawn, who's giving him advice on women, and Dawn says, you should go for it. Then it cuts to him, the door opening, and him chatting up this woman. Then it ends up with him trying to seduce or reprogram this robot for sex, this female robot.
Slightly humans-esque scene.
Slightly humans-esque scene, and him being strangled. Then it ends up with a scene with him saying, in a car with another actress saying, and that's why I'm not into women anymore. So it almost feels like one little mini story
it's
of Petch's love life.
Yeah, a really great example, because every single scene is from a completely different project, but they all intertwine this guy who's just unlucky in love. Like, he goes down every avenue. He's, like you say, he's at a funeral at the start of it, which is like, and then he's getting some advice to say, just go for it.
Yeah, and then he ends up asking the woman out, and then it's one with him reprogramming this female robot for sex and getting killed, and then going, and that's why I'm not into women anymore.
So you can,
but you know what Petch's casting type is from that reel. You know how to sell, what Petch is. What is Brand Petch?
Brand Petch is the sidekick, unlucky fall guy who's like just the light relief comedy. Always tries, but it always goes wrong for him. Brilliant character.
Yeah.
And there's loads of that.
I'm sure Petch wouldn't mind me telling you this, but when Petch came to me for one of the scenes, he wanted to play a villain. And I was like, Petch, I can't see you as like the super nasty, hard villain, but I can see you as creepy. So that's why he became the creepy robot. And he's utterly brilliant in that scene. I mean, fantastic. So it's about taking what the actor's brief is and kind of melding it to what I'd actually cast him as. Actually, Petch the other day was like, I want to play a police officer. I'm like, Petch, I couldn't actually say I could see Ross as a police officer, but Petch, you'd be brilliant as the victim or the suspect or something like that. So you're still in the police genre, but in a different category. So it's about trying to, square peg in a square hole, not square peg in a round hole. If you're playing the wrong thing, it can be, you can, spend all your money on doing showreel scenes or whatever, or working on short films. But if you're not right for that role, you are literally shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably are asking for those procedural roles, because I've done a lot of podcasts recently where the casting directors have been like, look, obviously your first TV credit is going to be a procedural role, like a copper, a doctor, a nurse, a paramedic, a fireman, one of these kind of people a postman, just like rocks up and then leaves. So I think a lot of people have opted for, because I'm always the copper, if they've been listening to the podcast and maybe go, all right, I need to get a copper scene done. I think you're right. I wouldn't see Petch as a copper, but could definitely see him as a nurse or a paramedic.
Yeah, nurse. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
So it's about finding the right role for him. So it's doing something of this procedural sort of, the doctors or the whole deal, that sort of thing, but trying to meld it so it fits better for him, rather than just doing it for the sake of it. Going, the thing is, I'm honest with every single client, because it does me any favors if I let them go and do something where I know it's wrong. So I'll always say, no, this isn't right, but if you do this, this, and this, trust me on it, then it will work and it will get you jobs. And 99.999% of people will listen to it. It's like coming to an architect and the architect going, you need a supporting wall here, you need a door here, you need windows here, and then the client going, actually, no, I want the door on the roof. And I'm saying, well, actually, no, that doesn't work, having it on the roof. And if you take out the supporting wall and have no windows, it's not going to work. Most people, 99.999% of people, listen to my advice, because I know I've been doing this quite a while now.
Trust the architect.
Trust the architect. So it's about figuring out what your casting type is and doing something that plays to your strengths.
Yeah, definitely. And apparently people are saying in the comments here that they're doing Showreel Share Day slightly differently this time, saying that it's not about, people saying they don't understand it though, it's not about retweeting this time. Well, what is it about then? I've not kept up with it until we spoke about it earlier and went, oh yeah, that's happening on Thursday. I presumed it was the same
I'm not sure.
Same format. But we will look at that then. It says not much retweeting this time. Go watch the Showreel Share Day post about how Kate has changed the way to post. So I can't actually share because Kate Davis has blocked me on Twitter because she didn't like something that she didn't like something that I put out on Facebook at some point, because Showreel Share Day was at some point was looking like it was going to be monetized, and it was all behind the curtains, and no one's to know about it. But I was like, no, you can't do this. It's not fair. So she went apeshit at me for saying that, and yeah, she then blocked me on Twitter, so I can't see that. But you'll have to go and check it out, Chris, because it's
I'll go have a nosy.
you know, respect to Kate for setting it up all those years ago, but it's something that I think is owned by the industry. You can't, you know, there was all talk of her going, oh, I'm going to copyright a hashtag. You can't do that, Kate. This belongs to the industry, to the people. Don't take it away from them. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works without retweets and stuff, though. I don't know what the crack is with that. Some advice I heard through the grapevine: no music on the intro. It's bloody good advice, Donna, because you don't really want an intro. Ultimately, your intro needs to be 2 seconds. Well, you tell people what the intro should be, Chris. You can put a little, but I know what you're going to say, but it's not music, is it?
I know. What they're thinking is a montage of shots to music. Don't do that. We want to see you acting straight away. So how I always start them is headshot in the center, your name. That's all they need to know. All that information, spotlights, just put it at the end. You just need to go, this is me, this is my name. I have a tiny little neutral jingle that goes underneath. Now, you don't want
it goes a bit like this. You be my headshot for a second, Chris.
Go on. Yeah. It's simple. It's not happy. It's not sad. It's neutral. You don't want to set them up in any particular way. One person asked me to change the music on this and sent me something other. And I was like, but you're prepping them to feel this way or this way. I just want to go. It's almost like the news, sort of tiny little 2-second thing where you see this and then your first scene. That's where you hit them with the emotion. Yeah. But yeah, so you don't want a montage of you doing stuff just to a soundtrack, because it's
the last thing you want. It's what people did in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's the worst thing. It's the most unuseful thing on the planet for a casting director. It's not a music video. They don't want to see you walking away from fire as a car blows up to some soundtrack. They want to see you acting. You have to go from your headshot and your name, and you've got to put your headshot on it. I'm still seeing people starting their show reel off and it's just a name. And if your name is Sam Evans, how do I know if you're a boy or a girl? And then what if your scene starts with 5 people in it? I haven't got a clue who you are. And what if you're not the first person talking it and you should be? I don't care who else is in your scene, how famous they are. It's your show reel. You have to be the first person speaking on that reel, even if you cut in mid-scene, in my opinion. Chris is probably going to say...
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right.
You agree with that?
Unless there's very rare circumstances where I haven't put that as the first line going, I can't get this as the first line. But I usually try and do the setup line while it's on the person's headshot. So the first time we actually see that we cut into the person, that is the actual person. So it might be a question or a line that's underneath the headshot, and then we cut to them, because sometimes it just doesn't work. But yeah, you should be the first person seen, heard, and really, and the last person heard as well. The amount of scenes, showreels that have been sent, and I have had one where somebody's called Sam, and no headshot at the beginning, and it started off with 5 people, and then the next scene was like 3 people. I'm like, I don't even know who I'm supposed to be looking at here. It's so important to guide whoever's watching it. If they are watching it and confused at any point, then you've lost them. This is why I spend so long. I've spent 9 to 12 hours on a reel, just going over and over again, making sure that every frame is important, that you don't lose them, that your attention span is there. Can I get rid of another person? Can I cut this down a little bit sharper, but still keep the context? That's the other thing as well. You can get to a point where you're cutting it too fast and it's literally just one line here, one line there, and there is no context for the scene. You still need to know the context of what's been set up. Going, I'm fine as a line. Okay, that's cool, but you need to know what the context of this is. You've just survived an explosion. Oh, I'm fine. Do you know what is the context of this clip? And each clip has got to have its own mini arc, a beginning, middle, and end within itself. So you've got to create a beginning, middle, and end for the whole reel, but then a beginning, middle, and end for each individual clip as well.
And you can cut into your scene as well. This is something we'll talk about in a sec, because someone's asked about this as well, to make it favour you. I'm just going to say, David said, when does his subscription to Ads on this start? David, let me know your email address, mate, and I'll look it up for you live on this so I can see what your status is on there. I'm pretty certain you're a new member, aren't you? You joined the other day, in which case your membership should be completely active. You should have a full premium membership now. Drop your email address if you don't mind doing that into the chat that you registered on the site with, and I'll check that for you now. But yeah, someone asked before, Chris, about saying, look, what if you've only got one line, but it's in a big film? Like how can you put that in to sort of maximize the impacts of it? Do you reckon? Have you ever had that where it's just been a line or a couple of lines, but it's been in a? What about John's scene with Tom Cruise? With Tom Cruise?
I don't think haven't cut his reel since he's got that footage. Right. Funny enough, I cut his reel that got him the job with Tom Cruise. So John sent me a message going, "Oh, cheers for the reel, Chris. You've landed me a job with Tom Cruise." And I texted him back going, "Yeah, whatever." And he then sent me a picture of him and Tom Cruise together. So a good reel is that effective. You could be going from doing smaller stuff to being in a Hollywood film like that. What was the question? Yeah, so you can cut in like lines from big films. I wouldn't necessarily use it as the first bit on your reel, because you need your acting. It's a tough one, really, because as I've said before on these podcast video calls, that your best scene, your best performance might not necessarily be the first thing in your reel. This sounds counterintuitive. You want the best thing that opens your reel. So I cut one from an actress, and she had a really meaty, emotional scene, but I tried it at the beginning and it just didn't work. It was too slow. It didn't grab you. You need to seduce the viewer within a few seconds. So I tried a little bit of a comedy beforehand, a little 10-second little blast, and then went into the meaty emotional scene, and it worked. It was so much stronger, but going straight into this slow burn scene just didn't work. So it's all about pacing. It really is. It is all about pacing. You've got to think of it like a movie trailer. You want to bring them in straight away. If you start off too slow, then
you said something really good as well on a previous thing that we've done together, where you said, look, you can have all, you can take all the words in a sentence, and if you put them in the wrong order, you've still got all the words, but it doesn't make sense. And your reel's exactly the same. You can have 6 scenes, and you don't have to have 6, by the way. You're seeing your show reel, if you're just starting out in the industry, it could be 2 really solid scenes. You want to not put anything in there that's going to turn a casting director off. It's better to leave them wanting more than to go, oh, okay, I thought they were all right, but this is dog shit. If you put in too much. But yeah, you can have the same 3 scenes, 4 scenes, and you can put them in so many different orders, but you'll find one order makes that sentence and makes it make sense, as opposed to it just being all the words but in the wrong order.
Yeah, it's all about the order. I've seen scenes where you go, it's all brilliant stuff, but in completely the wrong order, so it makes absolutely zero sense. The order is absolutely vital, and it's also about not putting in too much, but finding the right balance. Like with yours, you've got so much good stuff. Now we've really had to fine tune it. So you've got a scene with Peter Capaldi that we lost about 2 or 3 versions ago.
We lost the John Sim scene, Peter Capaldi scene.
The John Sim scene. It's about finding the absolute best of the best. It's the cream of the crop to show them off. And you might not necessarily you might not use absolutely everything. So there's an actress that I've worked with numerous times. She's done about 11, 12 scenes with me. And I think in her actual reel, I've only used 7. So it's about just, going, well, both scenes are brilliant, but, okay, this is a little bit too similar to this. Okay, so this one's works better in the context of the reel. Let's just use this one. So it's really about being objective about your footage, which can be really hard because you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh, but I want to show this.
That's why I'll never edit it myself. You've done my reel now for years. I will never edit it myself again, because you just are generally right.
That's why I find that when actors cut their own reels, they're far too long, because they're like, oh, I'll put everything in. It's like, no, it's not about putting everything in. It's about putting the absolute best parts in and in the right order. So it's like building a jigsaw puzzle. But you've got several jigsaw puzzles mixed together. So it's just about finding the right pieces that tell that one story of you.
Yeah, definitely. It's Yeah, it's about, honestly, less is just so much more sometimes. And ideally, I mean, ultimately, this is what you want. You want to end up going, right, if I'm first starting out, I either do some, and I mean, really quality short films, like student short films that are quality though, not really poor quality production ones. Or you get someone like Chris to shoot you a couple of scenes. And then what you want to do, obviously, the idea is you get those scenes shot and then that gets you a job. And then what you do is you then go, right, I've got a TV job. Now that TV job is added to my reel, and that gets me to that's 2 scenes plus a TV job. Then that should lead to another job. And then you go, right, well, actually, I can take one of the custom scenes out, maybe now, and I can replace it with 2 TV jobs and a custom scene. And then you might end up going, right, then that leads to another job until you end up with 5 TV scenes. And then you go, wait a minute, you know what? I'm always seen for these parts, but I'd like to just show that I can do something else. So then you go back and get a custom scene done as something completely different to all the telly stuff you've got. And then the schedule, ultimately the process just moves on and on. So what happens with me, Chris, is we go, right, how many times have we done it where I've gone, right, I've just filmed this job. And then like way in advance of it being on TV, we know what scene it's going to replace on my show reel. So literally the day after it airs, I've got that scene and we know what we're doing with it. So again, we're ready. And then that goes up on Spotlight straight away and I can put it out on social media straight away. We did this when The Stranger came out on Netflix. I was in The Stranger. We edited it like the next day or the day after. And then it was up on my Twitter feed. And 7,500 people watched it in about 2 days. Lots of industry people. And again, it just elevates your status a little bit. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow night when we do the proper broadcast for the premium members. But yeah, I mean, that's the idea of your reel, guys. It's not to collect 1 million showreel scenes initially. You want to go, right, let's shoot a couple of quality showreel scenes. Let's get, my casting type right. And then let's get that procedural role on Corrie or Emmerdale or Holby or Casualty or whatever it is, and let's put that in the reel. And then I've got 3. Now I can use that to get another TV job, and then I can go, right, after a year, 2 years, collecting these TV jobs, right, Chris, I'm always seen for these roles, but actually I'd like to play Superman. Can we shoot a scene that's like Superman? No, I'm probably never going to be Superman. But yeah, that's the idea of your reel. Your reel should be working for you when you're asleep ultimately, and that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow in terms of putting it out online and getting some get some eyes on it. I've been advised that casting directors don't like corporate footage on a show reel. Is this true? I would say hell yeah, but obviously occasionally we've done, I know when you've been cutting reels, we've done the advert thing, haven't we? But it's been more dramatic.
I would say there's no real solid rules. There is a form that can be followed, but there's an exception. There was that one, that amazing advert that we saw, and it worked so well. Donna,
she was so good. Amazing. Yeah. So what that was,
really funny because it was more of a storyline, wasn't it? That actually really showed off her acting.
We would say 9 times out of 10, absolutely, Elizabeth, no corporate stuff on a drama reel. It just looks shit, to be honest with you, compared to the drama stuff. Casting directors aren't bothered whether you can talk about, I don't know, Sellafield's nuclear corporate guidelines, right? They want to know if you can act, right? Not bothered about that. Same with adverts. They want to know what you look like on a sofa for DFS. But occasionally, that 1 out of 10 times, you'll get a corporate or you'll get an advert that you go, wait a minute, there's a lot more acting in this than you would normally be required in those 2 genres. Donna, I can't remember her surname, but she was brilliant. It was an advert for comparethemarket.com, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And it's where she was playing this like absolutely brutal kind of road worker that would normally, be like this, I guess, gruff guy or something like that. But she's playing this super powerful woman, and she's shouting, "Oi!" at like the rest of these gruff workmen, and they're shitting their pants, right? It's brilliant, and it's so funny. It's like a comedy scene, like a sketch almost.
Yeah, it's like a sketch.
So we did go, you know what, you've broken the rule there, but it works so well. Because before that, until that point, we'd practically gone, no, you'll never have a commercial in a scene. And then we in a show reel. Then we saw that and went, wait a minute, it can work. So there's no real rules, Elizabeth. That 1 out of 10 times you can break. But I would say, as a general rule of thumb, I wouldn't mix any corporate or commercial with drama. And the same for voice reels as well, guys. Don't... you want to, I do a lot of voiceover. Your main voice reel is going to be corporates, commercials, and documentaries. You wouldn't put animation on there, or accents and stuff like that. That would be a separate reel. So you could have a separate reel for corporate stuff and a separate reel for commercials, but your drama reel needs to show you solidly acting. They've got to see you within the first 20 seconds and go, I want to bring Elizabeth in for an audition. It's got to be, decent stuff.
Hang on, is Donna on the chat? Is that Donna Louise? Was that you, Donna?
I don't think it's Donna Donna. Is that Donna Donna?
Because she says it was an advert I won't forget. So
Was
it might be.
Was it you,
Donna?
Donna?
Was that you?
Donna, was it you?
Was it you?
If it was, Donna, you've been knocking around on these broadcasts a long time, and I appreciate you so much. I didn't know if it was Donna Saunders. Let me have a look. Let me click on you. See if it was, because Donna, that was one of the best adverts I've ever seen. If it was you, but I don't know if it was. You look far too young. Or you just
so happened to be called Donna as well.
Yeah, it's just Donna. 2 Donnas, I think. But Donna, thanks for being here. But yeah, I can't remember the other Donna's name. But it was a really, really.
It was brilliant.
Definitely. So yeah, let's see what other questions we have got. And we're still going to be here for at least another 10 minutes, guys. So I mean, there's a lot of comments coming through. I can't get everybody's on, but we'll do my absolute best to answer what we can for you guys. What have we got? All right, Alex, he's here. Harry, can you comment on small part material and big project versus student films where you have more to do? Okay, what do you mean is in terms of like the value of it? So small part in a big project, or a smaller project with a bigger role? What have you seen there? You know, it's going to be quality over quantity in it every time.
That's a tricky one, because yeah, you might just have one line in a big movie, but you might have something a bit more substantial in a short film, but then the short film might not be particularly well shot, or it's got to look quality to sell you as well. So what I'd say with student and short films is really research the director. Don't just jump into bed, just go, oh, it's a short film, I want to jump in it. Actually look at their work beforehand. I'd always do this when I get access to be on my short films, is go, this is all my back catalogue. Please have a look. If this is a project you want to be involved in, this is my stuff. If you think it's quality, then please, come on board. Take the time and properly research, because you might be in a short film that's utterly brilliant, that gives you something meaty to do, and that's what you actually need, is a little bit of meat to actually show what you're capable of. One line in a movie, a big movie, is great, but it might be not enough to show off what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, you need sort of like, it's nice. Where would you put in a reel at, like, like a smaller, but I mean, I guess, you know what, it's weird though, isn't it? Because the scene that we put in The Stranger of Mine, it's only a few lines, isn't it? It's only short, but it's a really nice start to the reel in terms of it's just a really nice opener, isn't it? So I guess it just depends on what other material.
No, it depends on what the lines are. So you've got a couple of lines with it, and it's got a mini story within that scene. So you ask her out, she says no, and no, she gives you the finger. So you've got beginning, middle, and end in that scene. So that works. That sets up you, and it also it's your personality. That's why we chose it to go first. It's about showing you off and go, oh, well, that's Ross. You don't want to do something that's so opposite to you, or even, this is something we talked about before, doing an accent. And especially putting that as the first scene. I've had Showreel sent to me where people are doing, I won't do the accents because I can't do accents, I'm not an actor, but doing accents, I believe they were Australian. Yeah. And I'm like, and then they're like, oh, she's not Australian.
We must talk about this, because this,
it's so
absolutely
important.
So guys, don't do whatever we decided a long time ago, and it's just worked, that the first scene on my reel, and for most stuff Chris cuts, has got to be a character that is as close to you as possible, basically you playing yourself. And that scene of me and the stranger is very much me playing myself. Unlucky in love, I'm asking Hannah John Kamen out on a date, she says, do one, dickhead. Story of my life, basically. But I will be lucky in love one day. But yeah, it's very much kind of like don't shake your head.
Oh, sorry, you can see me.
I can see you. My casting type. And we've done it in previous scenes as well. We had the scene we did with Miranda as well. Because casting directors instantly then know what they're dealing with. If I opened up with the scene, say, from Cradle to Grave with Peter Kay, we're all talking like that, and it's like, I've got a wig on.
Were you wearing a wig in that?
I've got a wig on, I've got a hat on, and I'm talking like that.
So do you want to use that one?
No, so they're going to be like, well, he doesn't look, I don't look like me, and I don't sound like me. So I'd imagine if they were like, oh, well, we're actually looking for a general northern lad, they'd just turn it off. And then if they'd have got to scene 2, they'd have seen that's what I am. So make sure your first scene is as close to you playing you as possible. And a lot of actors fall into the trap of going, no, I want to show that I can act. And they do, the first scene is overly emotional. It's like I'm going to break down and cry to show I can act, because if I can cry, I'm a really good actor. That's what they want to show. They'll do an accent to show they're a really good actor, and they'll play completely against type to show they're a really good actor. And actually what you do is you're putting yourself out of work in the first 10 seconds of your show reel, because you will get employed for who you are when you're first starting out 100%, as opposed to what you can be. Michael Jackson said that. He goes, we employ you for who you are, not what you can be, especially when you're first starting out. And that's a real solid piece of advice. If you're looking for your first TV credit, don't go as an Australian, psycho murderer in your first scene when you're really, a young lad from Newcastle who's nice and should be a nurse.
Yeah. This is why when I write showreel scenes, I spend a lot of time with the actors on the phone, getting to know them so I can write something that is them. A lot of the stories are loosely based on the actors. So if they emotionally connect with them, I'm going to get a better scene out of them. So they are, the characters they're playing are versions of themselves. So we're going, this is Ross, this is Gemma, this is Stephen. It's a version. You might not do that exactly in real life, but it's something you could tap into. So it's about being as close to you as possible. It works so well.
Steve Goodwayne is real.
Yes, he's just got Steve Goodwayne. We always write him as this rough, man. He's just got a part on Coronation Street, and that's literally the same part he's played for me on, because he's brilliant. We've recommended him to other actors, and he's played this part.
What he was born to play.
Yeah, in so many of my scenes. There's
no point in Steve going, I'm going to put a barrister's wig on and put an RP accent on. Because he's never ever going to get.
I'd love to see that though. I know that would never work, but I'd love to see that. That would be amazing.
But it's like, he's gone authentically. He's a really fucking good actor, Steve, as well. But he's just gone authentically with who he is. He's owned it. He's very self-aware, knows his casting type, and Steve has been. I've got a lot of respect for this guy, because he's just been consistent, so consistent. It took him probably 2 years or something to get that first job on Corrie, but he's been a massive Corrie fan. It's been like his absolute dream. And I've been like, mate, keep going. And he's shot scene after scene, showing his strengths, sending it out. He's bounced from agent to agent. Some agents have played him about a little bit. And then, finally something's popped for him. And it's like, and that's what will happen for everyone if you just hang in there. And
you've just got to keep going. That's the thing. You've just got to keep going. And you never know if you come and you do, because Stephen was really good, professional, on time, great to work with, superb actor. And because he's so good, I've recommended him to other actors. So that's why he's been in like so many different scenes playing that sort of role. And it's paid off now. Now he's in Corrie. He's playing the same role in Corrie.
Yep. It's no, honestly, guys, this works. Seriously, everything that we say, not just saying this for a laugh or like as snake oil or some bullshit. Like, I swear to God, if you put into practice what is on ActsOnThis.tv and what we say in all the podcasts and stuff, and I'm proving the pudding myself because it works for me, you will work. There's a lot of people who are frustrated right now because they just feel like they're going nowhere and they're doing the same thing over and over again and they're expecting a different result. There really is, like, it's not a formula like as in this and this guarantees this, but it's as close to as that if you follow the advice in every, all the podcasts and stuff that we say on there. Amazing advice, says Annabella. Says, I'm going to change my showreel tomorrow before the workshop with Chris. Enthusiasm is your name. There you go. Nice. Yeah, so we're going to do, so let me just show you quickly before we wrap up tonight, because Chris is going to show you some showreel scenes over on Facebook after this. We're on Facebook, sorry, now. I forget because we're using Zoom to broadcast tonight. But yeah, so what's going to happen tomorrow is me and Chris are in the middle of a huge slide deck that we're going to share with you guys tomorrow. It looks like this. It's a 90-minute showreel workshop with Chris Stone. We're going to be going through, I won't show you all the slides now, I'll show you very, very quickly so that we don't. Oh, can I even do that, actually? Look at that. Who is Chris Stone? I took a picture of him when he's in
Oh, great.
Took a picture of you there. I've made it all cartoonesque. But we go through, ultimately, tonight's workshop is going to be, well, this is tomorrow, getting your showreel social media ready, guaranteeing your showreel has impacts on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, advanced tactics, and these are advanced, okay? So don't be overwhelmed by these tomorrow night, guys, who are going to be here for this, because if you're not technical, you might be like, oh shit, I'm really struggling. We're going to show you screenshots of exactly what you do. We're then going to do a live showreel, like Q&A, to get your stuff ready for showreel share day. But these are really in-depth slides. I won't kind of go into proper work. Can you see how we're, I'm highlighting stuff on the screens? We're going through literally, like what you do, what you click, where you should go, how you upload stuff, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a real in-depth session. So when you come to this, bring a pen and paper. You will get access to these slides. You're going to be able to download those if you're a premium member. They'll be available in your members area on Wednesday morning. There'll be a recording for anybody who can't make it. But if you do want to be on that and really go deep on how you can market yourself on social media, and you know what, it doesn't just apply to Showreel. These tactics apply to anything. If you have a short film you want to promote, if you have a web series you want to promote, a scene that you've shot yourself in isolation that you want to promote, we can, if you follow these principles and these strategies, guarantee you will get so many more people to watch it than you will be able to if you didn't know these. And there's some stuff that we didn't even really know till today, because we were
since we were talking to each other, and I was saying, oh, you could do this, and you went, oh, but you could do that. Oh, right. Well, I didn't know that, and you didn't know this. Let's combine these two together.
There was stuff
so we've been approaching stuff from two different ways.
Yeah.
And we've just figured out an even stronger way of doing it.
There was stuff that Chris does on desktop on Instagram that I didn't even know you could do on desktop, as in on your computer. And there was stuff that I was doing on the app on Instagram that he didn't know you could do on the app. So we realized that when you combine, if you were really committed, if you combine the desktop with the app and you use them both at the same time, you can do some really, really effective stuff that honestly, I just guarantee you, because me and Chris use Instagram multiple times every single day. I promise you, the stuff we're going to show you tomorrow, 99.9% of actors will not be using. So this will be an opportunity for you to be first to use the tools that we're going to show you. Not everything. There's some stuff that's the basics, but there's still the basics that actors are not doing at all. They're still making mistakes. If you are posting still a link to YouTube or Vimeo on any platform that isn't YouTube or Vimeo for your Showreel, you're making a massive mistake. If your social media accounts are linked together, so when you post on Instagram, it automatically posts to Twitter for you, you're making a mistake. There's loads of really simple stuff that I just would think people would get that you don't, would not be good for you, that they're still not understanding is not good for you. You need to approach each of these platforms. It's almost like a different TV channel. ITV would be the equivalent of Instagram. BBC is Twitter. BBC Two is Facebook. You can't just put the same piece of content out on each channel and expect it to work for the audience that watches that channel. There's different types of people are watching different channels as you are watching TV. So you've got to be aware of who the audiences are on those platforms, and then put your material out and tailor it ever so slightly to each audience, whether that's the format of the media or how you post it. So we're going to be going mega in depth on that. Get yourself over to actsonthis.tv/live if you want to join us, and also join us in all future webinars. We've got, like I say, I've got 3 months worth of these, 8 a month for all premium members. They work out when you get your membership. If you pay it monthly, they work out at something daft like £2.12 each. If you got your membership and paid a year up front, God, they'd work out like £1, something like that, £1.50 at most. You will not find better value anywhere else. actsonthis.tv/live to find out more. Andrew says he's got a run. Nice one, Andrew. We'll see you on the broadcast tomorrow, mate. Marek, how are you doing, buddy? I noticed you just joined. Any other questions before we go? Because Chris, what are you doing at 10:15? You're playing some stuff out tonight, yeah?
Well, it's just started now at 10 o'clock. Yeah. So
where is it? Because we'll wrap up in a second.
I've just posted the link now. So it's a watch party. So I'm going to show an hour's worth of Showreel scenes and answer questions on there. So if you want to head over there in a second, there'll be an hour's worth. So it'll be about 15, 20 odd scenes, all different genres. People
haven't got the link or they're listening on the replay and you want to go over to Chris's page and watch it, you just search for Chris Stone Director on Facebook.
Yeah, it's facebook.com/Chris Stone Director.
Nice one. Quickly before we go, Liz says, can I ask how you work it, Chris? If someone wants a Showreel editing, do they send you the full scenes and then you pick the best bits? How does that work exactly if someone wants an edit?
Drop me an email, info@chrisstonefilms.com. And then send me absolutely everything, even if you don't like it, because I might be able to re-edit it, tweak it, and change it round, which I've done multiple times before, and find the absolute best stuff to show you off to your best. Let's sell you. Let's get you out there.
Bloody sell you. Because there's honestly, there's an opportunity here. Like I say, I was talking to Dan today, Dan Hubbard, one of the biggest casting directors in the land. He was like, look, now is the time to be getting ready, so that you don't have to get ready when we are allowed back out. And it's it's just going to make this time so much better for you creatively and just for your own mental well-being, mental health. being creative, feeling you like, you are progressing in your career, even though you can't be outside. There's so many things we can do online now to feel connected like this, being here. And tomorrow night, you are going to be on camera talking one-to-one with Chris as well. If you join us for that, like I say, once again, actonthis.tv/live. David, I didn't see your email pop up in the comments, mate, but if you just drop me an email, ross@actonthis.tv, I will check out your membership status, mate. And everyone who is going to be joining us tomorrow night, look out in your inbox tomorrow. I will send you an email link with the join link to join the Zoom call tomorrow night with Chris. You'll get one during the day, and you'll get one at 6:30 tomorrow, giving you a 60-minute warning. You'll also find them in your members area as well. So, Chris, anything to end on before we all go and watch your amazing scenes?
No, yeah. Look forward to chatting to everybody tomorrow, and it's going to be great. Talking about some real sneaky tactics. It's going to be fantastic.
Tactics. So if you want some sneaky tactics that no other actors have got, so ultimately you can just get more eyes on your showreel than anybody else's, join us tomorrow night at actonthis.tv/live. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. It's flown by. It really has gone so quick tonight. Can you write the email here, please, says Annabella. Can you just put it in the... You're talking about Chris's, I'm guessing. Oh, he says great. Have you already done that, Chris?
No, I'll do that now.
Chris at chrisstonefilms.com, is it?
No, it's info at chrisstonefilms.com. 2 seconds.
Right.
It's all in capitals. Oops. Do that again.
He's losing it because he knows his watch party's happening now and he's not
I'm
on
trying
it.
to do 2 things at the same time.
He's live on 2 channels.
Here's the watch party link again for anybody. So, yeah, I'll be showing lots of scenes tonight.
Awesome.
Which a lot of the Act on This people are on.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, there's loads of people in the community.
There's a scene with you on as well coming up, Ross.
Which scene?
16. The one with you and Jamie.
Oh, it's brilliant. Right, I'm going to go and watch that. Keep an eye out for that. You've got to watch at least the first 5 or 6 if I'm in the first 5 or 6. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Shelley. We'll see you tomorrow. Rich, my man, I will see you tomorrow as well. Thank you, Lindsay. I'm going to see all you guys on the broadcast with Chris tomorrow night. Thank you, Annabella. Thank you, Angie and Alex, for being here. Andrea, great to see you. Jay, hope you are good, my man. And we'll catch up with you tomorrow evening. So, Chris, until then, you know the catchphrase. actonthis.tv/live. Go get your membership. Until tomorrow, 3, 2, 1.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.